Alright, so we're back with Armored Warfare on what they are calling the public test server. I'm not really sure what that means. It's not early access 4. It's not open beta. Who knows? But, this video is not going to be any gameplay right now. Someone asked me to do what would be the best way to spend, all of your credits. And, because even though you only have 1,000 right now, once the Early Access 4 goes live, you should get all of your credits and experience back. So I'm gonna go which seems like the best way, the best lines to go down. Alright, let's do the two main, well, more than two, technically. There's two here. Then you have two main battle tank lines here, and you notice they added some vehicles and moved some vehicles around. We now have the M48 Patton, tier 2. So we'll start with that. We'll start with this line. With this line, let's go down the Patton line. The Patton to the Abrams. Well, the M48 Patton's gonna be pretty good. Let's check its upgrades. You have a lot of, start with regular AP rounds, it looks like. Yeah, baby. And you end with, HVAP. So, much penetration on that HVAP. 167, that's pretty okay. So, yeah. Do I think these main battle tank lines are the right ones to go down? Well, if they fix the bugs with with these 4, and they fix with these 5, then I'm gonna say this one is the better to go down. Because of, let's compare the M60 and the Leopard. I played the M60 before. It sort of played like a heavy tank. More towards a heavy tank than a main battle tank, and the Leopard 1 is way more towards a fast medium tank. So you have more armor. They both have the same guns basically. This one has more armor. This one has more speed. Armor or speed, pick what you want. The Off 40 and the Starship. Ooh, this is a weird two to compare. The Off 40 is basically a Leopard 1 with a bit more armor. No, not more armor. They both have 70 hull. No, the turret on this has much more armor. And then the Starship is an M60 with a 152 millimeter gun / missile launcher, and its turret has pretty good armor, but 292. But you have tons of weak points all over the tank. You know, if you can see these cheeks on the side here, and then you have the turret top, and you know the bottom plate's not that strong. Well, M60A3 got nothing to compare to. Leopard 2AV got nothing to compare to here either. I mean, this is a pretty. These are both 2-tier jumps. You either go from tier 5 to 7 or tier 4 to 6. Even though these two tanks are pretty comparable. I mean, the M60A3 gets era. I mean, and if they fix the armor on this thing, which you know should be, if you look at the modifiers there, you know, turret armor 300 with a 1.70 modifier for basically everything but shape charge. And I mean, even the shape charge modifier is 1.20. So, you know, this thing should have extremely good armor for tier 6. And the M60A3 gets era. That's not one. So it gets era. And as you can see, they also added retrofits. You need to unlock equipment. Let's go back. Now the Leopard 2 and the Abrams. This is the M1 Abrams, one with the 105mm gun. pretty much the same gun that you've been using, besides the Starship, since the M60 patent. More or less. It's got an upgrades. I mean, yeah, you have a lot. It does have an armor retrofit, but it does not have any add-on armor. See, and there's your, I don't know what this is. Hull for America 300. Additional hull reinforcement helps. So you do have a type of armor upgrade. It looks like. Let's go back. Now let's look at the Leopard 2. Alright, so this thing has extremely good armor. Look at that. Turret 426 with a 1.50 modifier. That's extreme amounts of turret armor. And the hull is not too bad either. Oh man, I messed up. That was the hull. 426. No wait, no, this is the hull. It's got tons of armor. And if I'm right, not the PT-76. Yeah, this gets the evolution armor. Raises the armor on the turret tons. Raises the hull armor pretty good. So yeah. And it doesn't have a armor retrofit. It has a chrome barrel lining. So it improves the guns. Improves the accuracy. And one other thing of the Leopard 2, it can fire playhat anti-tank missiles. So you have a lot to think here. Now let's go look at the Abrams. You know, you have... Yeah, that's my one. Details, you have not as much armor on the Abrams. Even though it does have an extreme modifier for heat shells. SC is heat, basically. Look at that modifier, 2.70, so almost triple that armor. Or that armor. Whenever someone fires heat at you. I don't know how many people will be firing heat at higher tiers, but if someone does, you're unpanelable versus heat. AP, FDS, I don't know. HE always does damage, unless they change that. I didn't play a game yet. So yeah, what do I think's better of the... Like, it kind of switches. Like, at the beginning, the patent line has more armor. But when you get to the lower tiers, the Leopard 2 line seems to have more armor. Now let's look at the Leopard 2 and the M1A1. Hold on, I got a cough. Alright, so we're going to compare the Leopard 2 and the M1 Abrams. I've played a game in the regular Abrams. I don't think I ever recorded it. I don't think I could, because I think that was during... I don't know. I think I played a game in it. I just never recorded it. Alright, so let's look at the Leopard 2, A5. Tons more armor. It's got composite armor everywhere. As you can see, the turret has a lot of armor added onto it. And composite, pretty good modifier. Again, a great modifier versus heat. Not as much as the Abrams though. The Chobham armor on the Abrams gives it a very good upgrade. Max speed 72. Wait, what was this thing's max? 72. So these all basically go the same speed, because they're all based on this vehicle, or basically they all came from that vehicle. Now let's do just the details of the M1 Abrams. Then we'll go into the upgrades. So you have composite. Composite with his 1.55 modifier. Again, has a much better heat modifier compared to the Leopard, because that's what the Chobham armor was made to stop, primarily heat. So yeah. 72 gun depression. That's wrong. It's actually In real life, I think -9. I don't know how much they fixed with the Abrams, though. Let's look at the upgrades. Okay, so a lot of ammo upgrades, and a lot of technology upgrades. No armor upgrades for the Leopard 2 A5. So you have a lot to think about when you get to tier 8. Which line to go down? Air cleaner. What does this do? Hold traverse speed and acceleration improved. Ooh, that's pretty good. I mean, you have a lot of It looks like you lose the ability to shoot anti-tank missiles. Do you? Yeah, look, it does. What about this one? Heat. Oh no. Lahat tandem heat ATGM. Huh. It's not on the upgrades. I guess it just comes with the missiles. And then you get a mobility upgrade, which is all those things. APS, Introvos, view range. You're gonna need that. Accuracy while on the move. So the Leopard seems to be the more mobile, but slightly less armored version, and very good gun. Now if we go back to the Abrams, M1A on the Abrams, you can see that you have a lot of armor upgrades. You get M1 Abrams stock armor, which is already pretty good. Then you can get the heavy common, which uranium, which seems to add depleted uranium to the armor. Gives it even more shape charge modifier. Tons more AP modifier. Yeah, so three times shape charge. That's like over 800 millimeter versus heat rounds, and 2.05 is pretty good. Then we go to the Tusk era and Cage package. So this adds era, which will block shots for you, and the Cage will also help defend you versus shape charge. So Abrams, don't fire heat at an Abrams. You don't have as many upgrades, even though you do have a firepower upgrade. Universe. Huh. Interesting. So it looks like the Abrams is the more heavily armored, but more heavily armored version. I mean, that's basically how the line goes. You have this line's more heavily armored, and this line's more about mobility. So you have the mobility line, you have the armor line. Hold on, I need a cough. Yeah, so mobility, armor, but they both start with the patent. Now you have your two sort of scout lines here. The LAV, you know the LAV. It's a fast little car, barely any armor, with an autocannon. And we all know it. That swing fire, you know the swing fire. It's got missiles. Yeah, we all know these vehicles, except the Fox. Even though the Fox was introduced for a little bit, because it was a mistake on their part. They admitted it. The Fox has a very good gun. It's got the 30mm Rardin. And as I showed, I have a video on the Fox, a couple. I showed that these rounds, these APSE rounds are really good. And you also get Milan anti-tank missiles. And more HE. And a firepower upgrade. So yeah. I don't think either of these lines are worth it right now because they only go to tier 7 and not tier 8 compared to, I mean, the BMP3 and the like, everything in the BMP line is pretty good. I mean, the BMP1 is alright, you just have to get used to it because it only has a heat and HE. So, I mean, now at the Leopards at tier 3, you know, you have a main battle tank that you can penetrate. You can penetrate the rear and lower plate of the M60, and you know, M48 Patton probably everywhere. What else? BMP2, that's a pretty big jump there. BMP2, pretty good autocannon. Pretty much on par with the Fox, except that this is tracked, this is wheeled. BMP3, powerhouse of weapons. It's got the 30mm autocannon that you've been using on the BMP2. It's got a 100mm weird gun that only launches HE. So, sort of back to the BMP. And you also have anti-tank guided missiles in it. So it's sort of like a combination of these two. And the swing fire. And it also gets era. Cactus era. Yeah, so you get Cactus era. I'm not sure what the BMP-3M gets. I didn't get to play it. Armor retrofit slot. So it does get sort of an arm. I don't know what the stock armor is. What is it? It just looks like steel. It doesn't look like it gets the era of the BMP-3. It's weird. But yeah, I mean, unless you really want the BMPs, don't really go down this line. If you really want the VBL and the Weasel, then I'd go down this line. The Weasel's great fun. The VBL's extremely fast and fun. Swing Fire used to be fun. Fox is really fun. But you have to know how to play scouts. BMPs are more, they're not really as much scouts as this line. Like, these are recon and these are more of like weird firepower vehicles. They're more like light tanks in that sense. The tank destroyer line, this is actually pretty good to go down because it goes to tier 8 compared to this line, which doesn't, even though these are tank destroyers. But you do have a split here, which you can get the Centurion 120 if you want to, but you're gonna have to get the LAV 600 if you want the Striker. And the Striker is apparently overpowered because it deals a lot of damage and it shoots really fast. How much fast does it shoot? 12 rounds a minute. Holy jeez. That's fast as is a Halo. And I don't think the artillery line's worth it. Unless they improved basically everything about the artillery. Because, and changed the way the counter battery system worked. Alright, now on to Shishkin's line. So, you have a weirder main battle tank line, which doesn't change till tier 5. And you have a lot more straight lines with him. He has less vehicles. So you start with the T-54, which, pretty good, looks like. Pretty good gun upgrades, engine, camera, 100mm AP. It does not get AP FDS rounds. Or, it doesn't even get HVAP. Huh. It's weird. It doesn't get HVAP. It only gets one engine upgrade. You're not going too much in terms of upgrades here. Oh, I mean, it's only a tier 2 main battle tank, but, you know, still, it's the T-54. This thing had tons of upgrades. I mean, countries are still modernizing it. You know, go look at, I forget what country still use it. I think Romania. No, Romania uses a version. I don't know what they do. They have, like, it looks like a T-54. We have the T-62. Y'all know it. Y'all know it. It's got pretty good armor, great gun, good at mobility. Then you get to the T-64. T-64, it's kind of the dead, not very good thing in this line. I mean, it has better armor, but this isn't the T-64 with the 125. This is the original T-64 that's still using this gun. And, it's like turret 2. Yeah, it has better armor, so basically you're just going up in armor, not firepower. Right? You do have the steel fiberglass composite, which does make it better versus heat, and not very great versus AP rounds. Pretty bad gun depression of -6. I mean, that's in the middle. How about, what is yours? -6. Yeah. And then this is where the line splits. Now, this line's kind of weird because it's like this is all the Soviets. Like, all the Soviets are gonna play roughly the same. They're low to the ground. They have great big guns. They have very good turrets, but and pretty weak lower plates from what I've seen. And they mostly get era. Like, you get the T-72. T-72 is a very big upgrade on the T-64 because this is the first tank that gets the 125mm gun. As you can see, it's the 125. Gets mobility. Gets heat rounds, very powerful APF DS rounds, and you can also mount a firepower upgrade. And you can also put applique armor on it. This only applies to the turret, so you're only upgrading your turret on that. Now, the Chieftain's very good, got pretty good armor, pretty good gun. Not the best gun. You get a lot of armor upgrades. Steel applique armor, steel brew applique, goes on the turret. Get an armor retrofit and another armor retrofit. So 2 armor retrofits on this. Not very good upgrades on the gun, and the penetration's not that great because of the rounds it fires. Fire control. You're not too mobile in the Chieftain, but so this is once you get down to here, this is the more mobile firepower line. This is the more heavily armored, I think. I don't know, like, the Ariete doesn't belong here. This should be a Challenger 2. I mean, here's the Challenger 1. Got, it's equivalent to the Abrams, because basically equivalent to the M1 Abrams. They both have the Chobham armor. They both have rifled guns. It wasn't until the Abrams went with the smoothbore 120mm. See, lots of armor upgrades. Era, armor applique, retrofit slots, system intercom. How's that do? Improves communication, and better crew skills, makes your crew better. So yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot to go over the new kit on the block. The T-62A. It's basically a better T-62 with a layered steel composite armor there. You do have one special thing with this. Instead of the composite armor, you get the Contact 1 Era. It's only a light Era, so it's not exactly the best Era, but it is Era. And you also get a lot of gun upgrades. All the way up to a firepower retrofit. Jeez. Gun stabilizer, reinforced ammo rack. Mark II, it's not the Mark III reinforced ammo rack. You're gonna need that. And nothing's new here. The T80 is firepower. You don't get air on the T80. So, T90 versus Ariete. Ariete's not worth it. PCO applique. That's not that much armor. Armor retrofit, mobility. Yeah, the Ariete just doesn't belong on this line. Because it was originally in this light tank line right here. And the VFM was originally right here. So, you know, this line looks like it was just thrown together real fast. Because the Ariete is not a... doesn't have anything to do with the Challenger 1 or the Chieftain. Ariete's an Italian main battle tank that's, I think has actually the weakest armor of all NATO main battle tanks. And that's, I think it's tied with the French one, the Leclerc. It might have, the Leclerc might have more because, so, I don't know what to say about this line. It's like, these are all, if you want this, basically the same gameplay, all the way to tier 8, go down this line. If you want to experiment with Russians, and then change to a line that doesn't really make sense, well, because then go down this line. Then you have your scout line here. I hated this vehicle. Hated it. It's big. It's bulky. It's got crap armor. It's got a not so great gun. I mean, basically the only way you were doing damage is if you just fired HE at people. Just spammed HE everywhere. You know, get through this. I won't even waste time getting any of the retrofit upgrades or anything. Get through it as fast as possible. The BMD is very good. It's fast. It's got ATGMs. It's got the Grom heat launching gun, which is the Grom's all right, but it's fast. It's faster. It's lower profile than the AMX-10P. AMX-10P is just a big box. It's huge. And it's got this little puny gun. Then the BMD-2, you got basically a BMD with a 30 millimeter autocannon. It's really good. And then you have M2 Bradley, which has pretty good armor for a little scout vehicle, and it also has ATGMs. Yeah, it has TAL ATGMs. And the neat thing about the Bradley is that you can fire 2 in rapid succession because the side has 2 tubes. You can go real fast. I mean, you're gonna get spotted and probably die if you do that, but you can. And the BMD-4, I don't think I ever played this. What does it have? Oh, it has the 100 millimeter, like the BMD-4 has, or BMP-4, or 3. Whichever one I went over before that has the 100 millimeter. So yeah, this seems pretty worth it. What's it get? Gets an armor retrofit. Doesn't get ERA. Enhanced shell materials. Seems neat. What does that do? Reload speed and moving accuracy. Alright. Reconnaissance package. You're gonna need that. And now you have a choice. You can either go to the Warrior, which is basically continuing this line in small, sort of lightly armored autocannon vehicles, or you can go to the Ramka, which is, if they didn't change anything, basically a main battle tank with autocannons and ATGMs. It's an even better Terminator. It's got tons of armor. its turret takes less damage because it doesn't have any crew. And you got upgrades. You have a firepower upgrade and an armor retrofit. Retrofits, not upgrades, in this thing. And you also got these thermobaric ATGMs. ATGM, basically AT ATGMs. They're basically splash damage ATGMs. And then this line's pretty good right here, but it doesn't go to tier 8 anymore. Scorpion, oh yeah, Scorpion's been moved to a light tank, so it lost its scouting ability. It's got a pretty, you played the Scorpion, you know the Sheridan, the Belgic Panzer with its 57mm auto cannon loader thingy. These two are pretty good. Artillery, not worth it. So, yeah, there's just a rough overview, because I forget your name, but you asked me to make a video of going over which lines are the best to go down. So this one, these ones only if you want to. This one is better, I feel, because unless you want to change it up, because all these are all Russians, and they're all basically the same tank. I mean, not really, but if you look at the designs, round, low profile turrets, big guns, low to the ground, bad gun depression. Alright, good armor. Except the T-80. T-80 has pretty bad armor. Same as the T-72. Because they don't have any real upgrades. I mean, this one has the turret upgrade, but that's not that much. This one's good to go down because you get two very good vehicles at the end. You get the Warrior, which is pretty good, has the 30mm... it has the 30mm Varden. It gets Era, so, yeah. I mean, it's not a bad vehicle, but you have the Ramka here for the same price. And the Ramka is amazing. It's a main battle tank with twin autocannons and 4 ATGMs. It's more heavily armored than this thing. And Stingray, if you just want some light tanks, but I wouldn't go down the artillery, unless you like artillery that much. I went down this artillery line last thing, unless I know they added the new support smoke shells, but it wasn't worth it, because how fast you died to enemy artillery. So yeah, that's just a brief overview of which lines I think are the best to go down, which lines not to go down. You can form your own opinions. You don't have to listen to me, but yeah.